The Bible is full of advice on handling money, and this advice is surprisingly relevant to modern challenges. From how we earn our money to decisions about how, where, and why to spend or invest it, biblical principles offer a path that promotes integrity and responsibility. Welcome to the Divine Prosperity Channel, where we explore how biblical principles can illuminate not only our spiritual path but also our financial behavior. One of the most well-known verses about money is in Paul's first epistle to Timothy, chapter 6, verse 10, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." It is crucial to understand that it is not money itself that is the problem, but the excessive love of it. This unbridled love can lead to all sorts of negative consequences, from destroyed personal relationships to crimes and corruption. The Bible does not condemn the possession of money but warns about the dangers of letting it dominate our lives. In modern society, we are often led to believe that a person's success and worth are measured by the amount of money and possessions they have. However, the biblical view is radically different. While the world encourages accumulation, the Bible teaches us to seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, as stated in Matthew, chapter 6, verse 33, "And all other things will be added unto us." This does not mean we will automatically be blessed with material wealth, but that our priority should not be the accumulation of possessions, but rather the development of a character and relationships rich in love and justice. The parable of the rich fool, found in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verses 16 to 21, aptly illustrates the biblical view on the accumulation of wealth without purpose. In this story, a rich man decides to build bigger barns to store all his crops and goods, thinking of security and comfort for many years. However, God calls him a fool because he was not rich toward God and died that very night, unable to enjoy his supposed financial security. These teachings are extremely relevant in our age of consumerism and materialism. They challenge us to reassess our relationship with money and consider ways to use our resources to benefit not only ourselves but also those around us. This may mean investing in community projects, donating to charity, or simply using our money in ways that reflect our deepest values and beliefs. Honesty is a fundamental pillar not only in personal relationships but also in financial management. In the Scriptures, we find various passages that emphasize the importance of integrity, especially concerning our financial practices. Consider the story of a small business owner who decided to adopt biblical principles in his financial management. By choosing not to evade taxes and treating his employees and suppliers fairly, he not only avoided legal issues but also built a reputation for reliability. As a result, more customers were drawn to his services, trusting in his integrity. This is a practical example of how honesty not only avoids complications but can also be a competitive advantage in the market. Honesty in finances goes beyond obeying laws. It's a matter of character that affects all our interactions. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 1, we read, "The Lord detests dishonest scales, but accurate weights find favor with Him." This reminds us that to live a life that pleases God, our transactions must be fair and transparent. Honesty also strengthens our relationships because when people know they can trust us, business and personal relationships become stronger and longer lasting. This principle is crucial in a world where trust often seems to be in decline. Another example is a company that, when facing a financial crisis, chose to openly communicate its difficulties to employees and seek joint solutions rather than hiding the situation and cutting benefits without warning. This honest approach not only maintained employee morale but also encouraged a wave of innovation and collaboration that helped the company recover more quickly. One of the most significant parables about investment is the parable of the talents, found in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 14 to 30. In this story, a man, going on a journey, entrusts his property to his servants. To each is given an amount of talents, a form of money at that time, according to their ability. 2 of the servants invest the money and double the amount received, while the third, out of fear, hides his talent in the ground. Upon returning, the master praises the 2 who increased their talents and harshly rebukes the servant who did nothing with his. This parable teaches us that God expects us to make productive use of the resources He entrusts to us, whether they are financial, intellectual, or spiritual. Investment, therefore, is seen not only as an opportunity for financial growth but also as a spiritual responsibility. Investing according to biblical principles means choosing investments that not only promise good returns but also contribute positively to society. This may include investing in companies that practice social justice, care for the environment, or somehow promote ethical values. Avoiding investments that harm people or are morally questionable is also an extension of the commandment to love your neighbor as yourself. Moreover, investing in the community and family are also valued forms of applying resources. This can mean investing in a child's education, supporting a family business, or contributing to community projects that uplift the well-being of all. Just as the servant who received 5 talents and the one who received 2 chose to invest in ways that doubled their values, diversification can help reduce risks and maximize returns. This is wise practice in any type of investment. Investments should not be made seeking immediate gratification but with a long-term vision. The Bible teaches patience and perseverance, values essential for anyone who wishes to build a solid investment portfolio. Each investment should be made with strong ethical consideration, ensuring that the money is used in a way that does not contradict biblical teachings. If you are finding value in this video and want to continue improving your financial management from a biblical perspective, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Divine Prosperity channel, activate the bell so you don't miss any content, and comment below on how integrity influences your finances. One of the most quoted verses about economy is in Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 20, which says, "In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has." This teaching reminds us of the importance of saving resources, not out of greed, but as a way to ensure security and stability for the future. The parable of the 10 virgins, in Matthew, chapter 25, verses 1 to 13, also highlights the importance of being prepared. The 5 wise virgins brought extra oil for their lamps, while the foolish ones did not. When the bridegroom arrived, only those who were prepared were able to meet him. This story symbolizes the need to always be prepared for the future, including financially. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 23, advises us to know well the condition of our flocks and give attention to our herds, an analogy that can be applied to financial planning. Monitoring income and expenses is essential for effective management. As we see in Romans, chapter 13, verse 8, "Let no debt remain outstanding, except the continuing debt to love one another." Avoiding debts that cannot be easily managed is a way to save on future costs with interest and other financial expenses. The idea of having reserves is consistent with biblical teachings about prudence and preparation. Saving money for emergencies ensures that we will not be caught off guard by unexpected circumstances. Saving does not mean hoarding greedily, but rather managing in a way that we can also be generous. In Acts, chapter 20, verse 35, Paul quotes Jesus himself as saying, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." This teaches us that, as we plan our finances, we should also consider how we can help others. Tithes, traditionally representing 10% of a person's income, are an ancient practice dating back to the laws given to Israel in the Old Testament. In Malachi, chapter 3, verse 10, God challenges the Israelites to bring the tithes into the storehouse, promising to open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. This passage is often cited to illustrate how faithfulness in tithing can result in prosperity and divine protection. Giving not only benefits the recipient. There is a biblical principle that says the act of giving can unleash a series of blessings for the giver. In Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 25, we read, "A generous person will prosper, whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." This suggests that generosity is a key to personal and spiritual prosperity. Additionally, acts of generosity can strengthen community ties and create a network of mutual support. Generosity fosters a culture of care and support, where less fortunate members are assisted, promoting a more stable and harmonious community. The amount can vary depending on individual financial situations. While some may feel called to give the traditional tithe of 10%, others may opt for smaller or larger contributions, depending on their abilities and convictions. Beyond giving to your religious community, consider contributing to charities, social programs, or educational initiatives. Diversifying your donations can help address a variety of social and community needs. Generosity is not a one-time event but a habit to be cultivated. Establishing a regular pattern of giving can help integrate this principle into your daily financial life. In addition to financial contributions, getting personally involved in charity or community projects can enrich your experience, allowing you to see the direct impact of your generosity. One of the most impactful parables Jesus told about greed is the parable of the rich fool, found in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verses 16 to 21. In this story, a rich man harvests a great crop and decides to build bigger barns to store his goods, thinking only of himself and his material security. God calls him a fool because he stored up treasures for himself but was not rich toward God. This parable warns us about the danger of placing material wealth above spiritual and human values. Greed can lead to a life of chronic dissatisfaction, where we never feel we have enough. This can cause stress, anxiety, and can divert us from our true purposes and relationships. In Matthew, chapter 6, verse 24, Jesus states, "No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." This verse teaches us that divided loyalty between God and material wealth is unsustainable and that we must choose what we truly value in our lives. Daily practices of gratitude can help us focus on what we already have, instead of always desiring more. This can include moments of reflection, prayer, or keeping a gratitude journal. When setting financial and life goals, consider how they reflect your deepest values. This helps ensure that our aspirations are not just about material gains, but also about meaningful contributions to our community and spiritual growth. Regularly sharing our resources with others is a powerful way to combat greed. It reminds us that we are part of a community and that our prosperity is tied to the well-being of others. Jesus' teachings on greed offer us a transformative perspective on how to manage our finances and our lives. By choosing to live less attached to material possessions and more focused on spiritual values, we can find greater satisfaction and purpose. Avoiding greed is not just a matter of financial discipline but a commitment to a lifestyle that values spiritual wealth above material, promoting a richer and more fulfilling existence.